good morning everyone. I am Amijal Y. Malinas, a BSEd 3 major in Social Studies. Today, I will be presenting my pre-recorded video presentation in the subject Ed 304, the teacher and the community, school culture and organizational leadership. Republic of the Philippines, Congress of the Philippines, third regular session. Republic Act Number 9155, an act instituting a framework of governance for basic education, establishing authority and accountability, renaming the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports as the Department of Education and for other purposes. B. It enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the Philippines in Congress Assembly. Section 1, short title. This act shall be known as the Governance of Basic Education Act of 2001. Section 2, Declaration of Policy. It is hereby declared the policy of the state to protect and promote the right of all citizens to quality basic education and to make such education accessible to all by providing all Filipino children a free and compulsory education at elementary level and free education in high school level. Such education shall also include alternative learning systems for out-of-school youth and adult learners. It shall be the goal of basic education to provide them with the skills, knowledge, and values they need to become caring, self-reliant, productive, and patriotic citizens. School shall be the heart of the formal education system. It is where children learn. School shall have single aim of providing the best possible basic education for all learners. Section 3, Purposes and Objectives. The purposes and the objectives of this act are: first, to provide a framework for the governance of basic education which shall set the general directions for educational policies and standards and establish authority, accountability, and responsibility for achieving higher learning outcomes. And next, to define the roles and responsibilities of and provide resources to the field offices which shall implement educational programs, projects, and services in communities they deserve. Next, to ensure that schools and learning centers receive the kind of focused attention they deserve and that educational programs, projects, and services take into account the interest of all members of the community, to encourage local initiatives for the improvement of schools and learning centers to provide the means by which these improvements may be achieved and sustained, and to establish schools and learning centers as facilities where school children are able to learn a range of score and competencies prescribed for elementary and high school education programs, or where the out-of-school youth and adult learners are provided alternative learning programs and receive accreditation for at least the equivalent of a high school education. Section 4. The definition of terms. For purposes of this act, the terms of phrases used shall mean or be understood as follows. Letter A. Alternative learning system. It is the parallel learning system to provide a valuable alternative to the existing formal education instruction. It encompasses both the non-formal and informal sources of knowledge and skills. And letter B. Basic education. It is the education intended to meet basic learning needs which lays the foundation on which subsequent learning can be based. It encompasses early childhood, elementary and high school education, as well as alternative learning systems for out-of-school youth and adult learners, and includes education for those with special needs. Next, formal education. It is a systematic and deliberate process of hierarchically structured and sequential learning corresponding to general concept of elementary and secondary level of schooling. At the end of each level, the learner needs a certification in order to enter or advance to the next level. Next is integrated schools. Is a school that offers a complete basic education in one school site and has unified instructional programs. And next is learner. Learner is any individual seeking basic literacy skills and functional life skills or support services for the improvement of the quality of his or her life. Next is learning centers of physical space to house and learning resources and facilities of learning program of out-of-school youth and adults. It is a venue of face-to-face learning activities and other learning opportunities to community development and improvement of the people's quality of life. And next is learning facilitator. It is a key learning support person who is responsible for supervising facilitating and learning process and activities of the learner. And the next is non-formal education. Non-formal education is any organized, systematic organizational activity carried outside of the framework of the formal system and to provide selected types of learning to a segment of the population. Quality education. It is the appropriateness, relevance, and excellence of the education given to meet the needs and aspiration of an individual and society. Okay, first, the school. School is an educational institution, if private and public, undertaking educational operation with a specific age group of pupils or students pursuing defined studies at defined levels. It is receiving instruction from teachers, usually located in a building or group of building, and particular physical of cyber site. And next is school head. School head is a person responsible for the administrative and instructional supervision of the schools or cluster of school. Chapter 1. Governance of Basic Education. Section 5. Principles of Shared Governance. Okay, first, shared governance is a principle which recognizes that every unit in the education bureaucracy has particular role, task, and responsibility inherent in the office and for which it is a principal accountable for outcomes. And next is, it is the process of democratic consultation shall be observed in the decision-making process and appropriate levels. Feedback mechanisms shall be established to ensure coordination and open communication of the central office with the regional division and school levels. And letter C. The principles of accountability and transparency shall be operationalized in the performance of functions and responsibilities at all levels. And third D. The communication of channels filed offices shall be strengthened to facilitate flow of information, expand linkages with other government agencies, local government units, and governmental organization for effective governance. Section 6. Governance. The Department of Education. Culture and Sports shall be henceforth be called the Department of Education. It shall be vested with authority, accountability, and responsibility for ensuring access to promoting equity and improving the quality of basic education, arts, culture, and sports shall be as provided for in sections 8 and 9 hereof. Enhancing the total of development of learners through local and national programs and or projects. The Secretary of Education shall be assisted by not more than 4 undersecretaries and not more than 4 assistant secretaries whose assignments, duties, and responsibilities shall be governed by law. There shall be at least one undersecretary and one assistant secretary who shall be career executive service officers chosen from among the staff of the department. And letter B, regional level. There shall be as many regional offices as may law be provided. Each regional office shall have director, assistant director, and office staff for program, promotion, and support, planning, administrative, and fiscal services. Letter C, division level. A division shall consist of province or a city which shall have a schools division superintendent, at least one assistant, school division superintendent, and office staff for programs, promotion, planning, administrative, fiscal, legal, and auxiliary, and other supportive services. Developing and implementing division education development plans. Hiring, planning, evaluating all division supervisors and schools, direct supervisors, as well as the employees in the division. Both teaching and non-teaching personnel, including school heads, except for the assistant division superintendent. Next is monitoring and utilization of funds provided by the national government and local government units to the school and learning centers. Letter D, school district level. Upon the recommendation of schools division superintendent, the regional director may establish additional schools district within the school division. School districts already existing at the time of the passage of this law shall be maintained. The schools district shall be of a school district supervisor and an office staff for program promotion. The schools district supervisor shall be responsible for the following, but I only choose the important. Okay, first, providing professional and instructional advice and support to the school heads and teachers or the facilitators of schools and learning centers in the district of cluster thereof. And second is the curricula supervision. And last is performing such other functions as may be assigned by proper authorities. Letter E, school level. There shall be a school head for all elementary schools and public schools or a cluster thereof. The establishment of integrated schools from existing public elementary and public high schools shall be encouraged. The school head, who may be assisted by an assistant school head, shall be both an instructional leader and an administrative manager. The school head for a team with the school teachers or learning facilitators for delivery and quality educational programs, projects, and services. A crew of non-teaching staff shall handle the school's administrative, fiscal, and auxiliary services. And that's the end of my discussion in my report. Thank you, and once again, good morning.
Hey.